how did you manage to meet Mr. Andrew Tate?
Interesting story. Right now, we've been working with the vice president of Tinder and the ex-CTO of Shopify.
I want to know with like MRR, if it's not too personal, I'd love to know where you're at and where you're going.
Yeah, sure. So we go anywhere from sort of like 50 to 70,000 a month.
What makes a high value man?
Great question. It's a great question. Great question. It's a really good question. It's a really good question. Great question. Great question.
Yo guys, just quickly before we carry on with the rest of the episode, I just want to tell you about our agency, Get Money Social. We help creators, coaches, and consultants not only create and launch, but scale their online products. If you're interested in finding out how me, H, and the rest of our team can help you scale your online offer, just click the first link in the description and we'll speak to you soon. I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Peace. Ollie, brother, how did you managed to meet Mr. Andrew Tate?
Interesting story. Yeah, so I was in Prague and me and Andrew had followed each other on Twitter for a while from one of his many accounts before one of them got banned. And he actually messaged me like, hey man, I've just landed in Prague. Do you fancy coming out to meet for a cigar? And I thought this was strange. This was before he's obviously blown up. So I went to go meet him in Prague. I walk into this cigar lounge and it's just him there with a cigar smiling going, hey bro, what's going on? So it was, pretty cool. Sat with him for a couple of hours, chatted about a lot of things going on in the world, business, training, gym, just things that you would normally chat about. And then after that, he's obviously blown up to the stratosphere, right? He's gone completely viral and pretty famous now. So, yeah.
So it was before the major, take over the world.
Yeah, this was 2022 in around March time.
Was he the same person then?
He was, yeah, it was. So I'd already followed some of his content before, his old Tate Confidential stuff. You might have seen some of his old school shit. So I sort of knew what he was going to be like. But in person, he's very much the same that he is online, just toned down a little bit. So he believes all the things he believes, but he's very socially calibrated. He's very confident. He's a generous person. So I have positive things to say about my meeting with him for sure.
Dope. What was it like being just, I don't want to come across Tate, but obviously he's a big role model to us in regards to just putting ourselves out there and giving this business game a crack.
Yeah.
What is it like to being around somebody that maybe not at the time you look at the same way now, but he was already ultra successful at that point.
Yeah.
Just being in his presence and around him, how he thinks, how he moves. What's that like?
He speaks with a lot of conviction in what he believes in, and I think that that's why he's blown up to the way that he's blown up to, because he's very strong-willed and he has this masculine, unshakable edge. Mm-hmm. So when he speaks, he says something, he fucking believes it, and you yourself start to believe a lot of the things that he says. And this is why I think he's blown up with a lot of the young generation, because he's got that conviction that says that he is who he says he is, and he's lived it and he's had the experiences. So it's inspiring to connect with someone like that, because it inspires you to then go on and push in your business, in your career, in your relationship, making more money, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. How does that connection even come about? Because obviously to connect with other like-minded individuals, a lot of it's a value exchange.
Yeah.
There must have been something in you that he sent to be like, yo, let's link for a cigar.
Yeah, I think we had followed each other online for a while on Twitter, and one of the big things was we had very similar views around masculinity, around the whole COVID thing that was going on. So I would share a lot of stuff, he would share a lot of stuff. We'd maybe reply to each other's stuff, like each other's stuff. So I think it was more the case that he saw that we maybe had a similar mindset. We were both into training. I was actually training for a boxing fight at the time as well. So there was that kind of relatability that we had, and we met up and we chatted. So I don't think it was anything more than that. I think it was just an alignment in maybe mindset, in vision, in the way that we live our lives, that kind of thing.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah,
so what is it that you do, bro?
Yeah, so I run an online health coaching business for entrepreneurs and executives. So we mainly work with people that are running big companies, but also small business owners, guys that are extremely busy, but they want to prioritize their health. And I think for business owners specifically, it's so difficult to try and optimize your health because there are so many challenges, there are so many restrictions, there's a lot of stress and pressure. So your health, unless you've sold a £100 million business, it's very hard to want to prioritize your health because you're thinking about the next money coming in, you're thinking about managing clients, you're putting out fires within the business. All of this stuff comes first. And if you've got a family, that comes first. So your health kind of takes the back seat. And people think that, oh, I'll deal with it later on. But what we tend to find and what people are finding is that health is your competitive advantage. So if you turn up to a business meeting, you're sloppy, you're 50 pounds overweight, you might have a nice Rolex on, you might be the CEO of X company, but people are still going to judge you on the way that you look when you walk in.
Facts.
Internally, though, you're also going to think about yourself in a certain way. So you're going to be like, shit, I feel a bit sloppy today. I'm not as confident as I should be. When you go into a business deal, that's going to show. Like, your aura is going to show. So what we're trying to do with our business and what we're trying to build is say, you know, health is your competitive advantage that you need now, because it's going to have such an impact on you externally in the way that you present yourself, internally, also spiritually in the way that you believe in yourself and the things that you believe in as well. So, that's what we do.
Oh.
Nice, man.
How did you start out? Like, because obviously, like, it's a very saturated market.
Yeah.
Like the online fitness coach.
Yeah.
There's everybody, their dad, their cousin, their best friend knows somebody or is somebody that's giving it a crack.
Yeah.
How do you get into that market of the top 1%ers? I'm going to cater for them. They're going to pay me the most money and I'm going to get the best fucking results.
It's a really good question. So I started my online coaching business 10 years ago. So I was at university. I was completely broke. I had
Man's
no
putting
money.
in reps.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Come
Yeah.
on, bro.
And I didn't really have much going for me apart from the fact that I had a pretty good physique. So I set up a website when I was at university. I learned how to do websites, WordPress, shit like that. I set up a PayPal link. I got all my mates to share it on Facebook. And then I got this little ding on my phone, and it was like £75 for a fitness package on the first day. And I was like, shit, man, I've got my first online money. Like, this felt pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. So I started building it throughout university. I went into a corporate job after university.
Bro, sorry, can I ask you can you just pull that mic like round? Because you're going to talk into our direction.
Like
to more
around here, yeah.
Beautiful.
Better.
Legend.
Cool. So I was at university. I started building it alongside corporate jobs and things like that. And then 2020 hit, which was COVID. And you probably saw this on Instagram. Everybody was posting these home workouts and all this kind of stuff. And I started venturing onto Twitter, and I found that there was a small subsector of the internet called Money Twitter, which was, you know, where people that look at self-improvement go, making money, leveling up relationships, fitness. So I created an account on there. I was like, let's just start tweeting health stuff and random stuff that came to my mind. And I started to build a bit of an audience on there. And I jumped on a call with this one guy, and I needed some advice on health and fitness coaching. He's like, how much are you charging for your coaching? I was like, like a couple of £100 a month, the standard that most people were. And he's like, well, I charge $5,000. And I was like, no, you don't.
What,
like,
per month?
Just as a package for maybe 3 months or 6 months. And to me, I was like, you know, someone that had just discovered fire. I was like, what the hell is this? This is crazy. And I just said to myself, well, I want to start charging that money. What do I need to do to make that happen? And I'd started working with a lot of executives. And I remember one December, I signed a big CEO that I worked with, and I charged him a high ticket. And he got great results, and he said, I would have paid double for this program. It was so valuable. And that was when it clicked to me that there was a subsector of the market that wanted that higher level service, that they were happy to pay the premium price. Yeah. And I really just positioned myself as the guy that goes after these people. Mm-hmm. And I began to attract the clients that I wanted. So, yeah, it just kind of fell into place.
Just quickly, did charging more, working with those type of clients, make your actual service delivery easier?
It did. Yeah. Funnily enough.
It's weird, always, isn't it?
Have you seen the meme where it's kind of like $500 client? It's like, oh, when's the service getting delivered? I want more service. I want this. I want that. It's like
funds sent, bro.
Funds sent, yeah. Like $5,000 client. It's like, yeah, paid, all good. Like, let's go.
When do we start?
So I find the service deliveries better. Number one, you work with, and I find this, I work with a higher quality of clients. So these people are already pretty type A personality. They're already pretty disciplined in their career to become financially successful, but they need to transition that over to their health. And then also it's the case that when people are paying a lot of money for something, they actually want to stick to it, right? If somebody's paying £100 a month, I spend that at the pub on the weekend, right? It's like, I'm not going to take it that seriously. So you work with a higher, quality of client, but also people have more skin in the game and they want to do it because they know that they've invested into it. And you as a business owner or a coach, you want to deliver a higher service because you're getting paid all this money. You're like, I need to make this incredible experience for them. And that's what we've worked on a lot, is making it a great experience. I always say to people, it's like you've got a hotel where you can go and go to a travel lodge and spend £50 for a night, or you can stay at the fucking Ritz, right? We're the Ritz of fitness. That's the way that we want our brand to be, is we're expensive. We're going to give you a lot more service. There's going to be a lot more included into that. We just want to make this a luxury experience for the client. And that's the way that I've kind of looked at it and tried to build it.
How do you make your service unique, charging higher ticket prices?
It's a really good question. One of the first things is, from a marketing point of view, it's like brand positioning and messaging. So a lot of online coaches or fitness coaches are like, get your shredded six-pack abs for summer. That's the standard one. Whereas
it's always the 6-week shred, isn't it?
The 6-week shred, right? So we kind of do the anti that stuff. We're kind of like, well, 75 hard doesn't work. These shake diets don't work. All of this stuff that you see from cookie cutter coaches, you're not going to get with us. Like, you come into our business, you're going to get a full concierge service of blood work. You're going to have sleep analysis. You're going to have your, tailored nutrition for business travel. And we're going to fix your energy levels. We're going to fix the way that you present yourself in business so you can be more of a force when you go into the boardroom. That's a completely different set of messaging compared to maybe your standard online coach. Yeah. So it really starts from that, and then just building out the product and the offering whereby, there is more things that make it more of a comprehensive, holistic solution.
The ideal outcome isn't just get abs, right?
100%. That's it. Yeah.
Be sharper, look better,
100%.
Work better, make more money because you are sharper. You
100%.
Work better.
Yeah, 100%.
What's one of the hardest things that you've had to face within business? Because me and H from experience can tell you that sometimes the shit gets shit.
It does, man, yeah.
And you kind of went like from uni, 75 quid to charging a corporate guy and getting amazing results. Like, I want to know more about the nitty gritty and in the middle.
Yeah.
Like the struggles of being able to be where you are today.
100%. So when I started transitioning or wanted to transition over to charging more money, I was staying in London and I just quit my corporate job, doing some freelance stuff on the side. And I actually had a few bad months and I couldn't pay my rent. Mm-hmm. So I was really broke, and one of my friends had a vending machine business, and he said, well, look, I'll give you some cash. You can go and fill vending machines. You got to wake up at 4 a.m. You finish at 4 p.m. and then you can work on your business afterwards, because he knew that I wanted to pursue the business. And at the time I had too much pride to want to go back to a corporate job, because I just quit it. I told everybody that I'm going to build this business and do this. I had too much pride and ego to go back to that. So I said, fuck this. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m., do a 12-hour day, go to the gym, and then work on my business till midnight. And I did that for like 6 months. And that was probably one of the hardest points that I had, because a lot of my family, friends were like, what are you doing? You've got a degree, you've quit your corporate job. Why are you filling vending machines with, people that were, don't even speak English, right? Mm-hmm. These guys were not qualified or had great qualifications, but like, I fucking believed that I was going to make it happen. So I think that was one of the hardest times, was going through that, for sure.
Where does that belief come from? Because I feel like as entrepreneurs, you've either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big determining factor as to how far you go, that I'm going to make it work.
100%. I think it all comes down to like your identity and your core beliefs of who you had as a person. So as a kid, I played a lot of elite level football in the UK. So I traveled around the country, played against a lot of the best teams in the country. So I came from a very competitive background. So I think my mindset like naturally just adopted towards that. But you just have to have this delusional self-belief that you're going to make it. I don't really think that there's a secret sauce, and you've got to take the rejection as it comes and realize it's just a lesson, and you've got to keep pushing forward. And I think if you have enough belief in yourself, the world will move out of the way and give you what it wants. If you can get past the opinions of others, the rejection, all of the bullshit that you have to go through, I think on the other side of that is the success that you get and the fruits of your labor. Mm-hmm. One of the big things that I see is a lot of people give up before that happens. They take others' opinions to heart. They decide to play small. And I don't think you can do that. You've really got to be strong-willed if you want to make it. And I'm sure you guys have probably had to adopt that kind of mindset throughout your business career as well.
Facts. What did you put out yesterday? You're not doing the wrong stuff. You just
you're not doing it wrong. You're just in the part that most people quit.
100%. Yeah. Like if you zoom out on things, you realize what you're going through right now is just part of the process and part of the plan to a greater future. And I always say this: you watch a film like Gladiator, right? And you watch the hero story of Maximus. Like, he has these great points where he's won the war, then his whole family, bad things happen. He's a gladiator, and this is a life of a hero. And you watch this story and you're so inspired. But when you're going through it yourself, you're like, shit, man, this is terrible. Why am I going through such a bad time? But if you can zoom out and be like, this is actually just a small piece of the bigger story, and there's greater things happening, I think you can get through it,
Mm-hmm. What makes a high value man?
Great question. I think a high value man is someone that embodies a strong level of masculinity. And I think that this is why people like Tate have got very famous, is because a lot of society right now wants men to be quite vulnerable, quite soft. And I don't think that helps you when you move through life, because men are always respected on what they achieve, their competencies, how they can provide and protect for other people. So if you are that kind of person and you move through the world like that, you're always going to kind of be high value because you're going to take on a lot of feedback. You're going to take rejection and want to push through. You're going to want to take on challenges and you're going to be strong-willed. And I think that makes a really high value person when you couple that with strong integrity of your own values and beliefs. I really think that's important. So not trying to screw people over, believing that the universe will punish you if like you do bad things. I think that's a big part of being high value as well. As a man, for sure.
I think just as a person,
100%.
like treat how you want to be treated, bro.
100%. And I also think a big thing is the boundaries, right? So if you have a terrible client, at the end of the day, you probably have to fire that client because if they stay and they keep giving you that behavior, then that's what you tolerate, right? So if you accept that, then that's going to be the reality. It's the same in a relationship as well.
Yeah.
A business relationship, an intimate relationship. I think that it's really important to have that level of, okay, I accept this and I don't accept this, and that's how you move forward.
Setting the expectations early, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
Just gonna grab my water quickly, fellas.
How important is it as a man trying to build something to have like? But do you have a relationship right now?
No, I'm single right now, but I was in a relationship for nearly 3 years. Yeah.
Well, how important is a woman's role, let's say, in a man's success, in your opinion?
I think it can be vital to a man's success. You see a lot of men that are in bad relationships and see what that does to their success. And you see businesses, divorces, child custodies. And sometimes men don't recover from that because they've picked the wrong woman or the wrong relationship to be in. Whereas I think on the other side, if you've got somebody there that does support your mission, understands that what you do is very stressful and that you need a level of understanding, I think that can push you forward to be an even greater entrepreneur and greater person, you know?
Mm-hmm. When's that lady coming?
We'll see.
Just dotting around doing your thing.
Dotting around, man. Yeah. I always believe this one mindset I have is like, don't chase, attract, right? So I think you should always focus on your mission, your purpose, doing the things that you want to do, and like, again, being very strong-willed. I think that's like the masculine, you could say, strength of really being purposeful. And what will happen is people will see you and come into your world and be like, I want to be part of that. I really like what he's building. I like what he's doing. He's got a direction. And you don't need to worry about what comes because you're going to attract all the stuff that you should.
Yeah. In regards to your business right now, where are you actually at? Obviously, I know beforehand you've mentioned like working with a couple of big hitters from some of the biggest companies in the world. I want to dive into that a little bit more and to see where you are actually at right now.
Yeah. So right now we've been working with the vice president of Tinder and the ex-CTO of Shopify. So we built to a point now we've got 3 coaches on our team that deliver a lot of the service, and we have people that help us with marketing and a bit of the sales side of things as well. Mainly what we're focusing on now is just doing a big marketing push to increase the quality and number of leads and clients that we're getting into our business, because we've got the foundations in place to do that. Mm-hmm. It's just a big marketing push now to continue to grow that and grow the team.
And what's your packages priced at now?
So we package anywhere from sort of $3,000 to $10,000, depending on level of engagement, length of the program, stuff like that. Typically we do 6 months, which is about $5,000, and we typically work with mostly Americans as our client base.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So many people say that, bro.
Yeah.
They are a great market, yeah. I don't know why, whether it's like having a British accent, it helps with
I think
Southern Americans.
a lot of people that I speak to, it's like their mindset for investing. Like they're way more open to it compared to.
And not to throw shade on British people, I love British people, but I just found from my experience with coaching, they're a lot more skeptical to investing into higher price programs or even sometimes into themselves because maybe they're worried or it's a mentality. Whereas Americans have a bit more of that big American energy.
Fuck it, bro.
Like,
let's do it,
I'm
man.
investing in myself, man. Let's do this shit.
Let's do it, bro.
There's this like American dream kind of energy that I feel from them. So I think maybe that plays a part as well. I think that there's an income thing as well. In America, typically, I think the salaries are higher. There's maybe more disposable income.
I actually didn't know that.
I think maybe in the bigger cities.
Houses are cheaper, aren't they? Obviously depends. Like if you're in New York, it's a bit sticky, but like houses generally are cheaper there.
I think so. Yeah, I think the salaries though for the big companies, if you look away from London, I think London's one of its own in regards to financial earnings. The other average parts of the big cities in America earn more, I think.
You mentioned obviously like the British culture and the people. You are just visiting here. You don't live here anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
When did you make that switch and why did you make the switch?
Yeah, so I live in Dubai now. I've lived there for about a year and a half. So I moved beginning of last year. And one of the big things was I spent a lot of time traveling. So I'd been to Europe, I'd lived in Barcelona, I'd lived in Lisbon. And I really liked being abroad, and I liked the hot weather, to be honest, man. That was one of the biggest things. And I felt that if I was in the UK, there wasn't really much for me here at the time. So I wanted to take a bit of a risk and actually move to Dubai and think, you know what, let's see what happens if I move here.
How are you enjoying the summer? July in UK?
Man, it's rained only twice since I've been here, and I've been here a week.
It's mad that it's
pretty good.
It's mad that it's actually raining this time of year, man. It actually is crazy. I feel like when we were younger, it never even used to as well.
Global warming, man. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you up, but you were talking about like the sun and everything. I was like, my boy's come to England for like a couple of weeks, and it's fucking grey, bro.
At least it's not raining today, bro.
In July, but yeah.
Yeah. So there are great things about the UK, but I just felt like for me to go to that next stage, I needed a new environment, a new challenge. So yeah.
What did that challenge consist of? Obviously, getting out to Dubai. Everyone always says about the networking opportunities, the businesses that are out there, the individuals that are out there, all of that kind of stuff, the hype, the tax, the weather. Mm-hmm. But also as well, what not a lot of people talk about is the flip side, the distractions, the girls, the clubs, the amount of money you can spend without even thinking about spending it by just being in these places. Yeah. How do you find that balance when making the transition and like actually going there to lock in and to grow?
It's a great question, because at the beginning of last year, when I first got there, I wanted to go out and meet people. I spent a lot of time going out. I caught a few big bills when I went out to some of the places and some of the clubs, right? Because you don't realize how expensive things can be. And especially I've been out with some of my clients that earn serious amounts of money, and they can spunk that money like it's nothing. Whereas to maybe normal people, or people like me, I'm like, shit, man, that's a lot of money, man. Yeah. You know, so I think
how much are we talking?
I've got friends that spend $150,000 a month just on fun. Just on going out to clubs and partying.
That's pretty cool.
It's close to what we spend roughly, isn't it?
Yeah, in 10 years.
So it's pretty fucking crazy, yeah.
That is nuts.
150k a month, you know. When we sat down with Switzy, he said, I know he's, obviously I'm not going to do his accent actually, but he said he's like, I'm not doing it. But he goes, I know some people that make $1 million a month and they spend 900 every month.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, on what, bro?
Yeah. I think one of the things is once people earn a certain amount, they can spend a certain amount. But if that income goes down, and I've had this with one of my friends, he was earning a large amount of money. His money started going down because he's in crypto and there's not much. He was saying, I'm still spending the same money because you're used to that lifestyle. You've got the same friends. You want to do the same shit. And he's like, I'm burning money right now because of the fact my money's gone down. It's a very easy situation to get in if you live a certain life.
So one thing my dad always said to me growing up, like he'd always say to me like, you don't want to keep up with the Joneses. Like he'd always like say that to me. Like that's not how we live life. Like we don't live life trying to like have loads of money. Trying to spend all of our money just so that we can keep up with the best things that are going on. And like always said, like it's easy to spend your money. Like it's hard to bring it back down, or like it's easy to live that lifestyle or hard to bring it back. So like that was something that I feel like always helped me with that type of stuff.
100%. There's that famous Warren Buffett quote, right? That says something along the lines of the world's not run on greed, it's run on envy and jealousy. And I think a lot of people, they get envious, they go onto Instagram, they see people living this life, and they want to live that life as well. They want to be at the 5 Palm, or they want to be in Bali or whatever because everybody else is doing it. And it's a way we're kind of hardwired as people. You know, everybody wants status and competitiveness.
Have you seen that thing of Warren Buffett where that video? I don't know how real it is, but like he'd go to Mackey's and he gets his breakfast from McDonald's and like he got something that was like 50 cents cheaper because stocks were down that day. I don't know whether you saw that video.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's real. Like it's him in the car. I don't know whether he staged it or not, but like to have that level of.
I think that's a bit silly though. 50p, bro, because the stocks are down. Come on, bro.
Bro's locked in.
My boy's a centi-billionaire. A centi-billionaire?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's worth.
But you didn't answer my question about the balance. So obviously, like, you're going there to level up.
100%.
But there's also all of these distractions. You mentioned, obviously, you've gone out and there's a lot of money flying around and whatever.
Yeah,
but
of course.
When did you kind of, like, check yourself and I'm here for a mission?
Yeah, I think I'd been there for like a few months and I realized, you know, it gets old after a while. You go into the same places, you see the same girls. And one of the things I've learned is none of that shit goes away. If you go for 6 months to lock in, you can still go out and do all of that stuff, and they're all going to still be there. So I think it really just comes down to self-discipline and having that focus on the mission. And I realized that Dubai can actually be a great place to create your own reality. So if you want to go there, you want to party and go on holiday, do that shit, you can. If you want to go to the great gyms, you want to lock in, you want to get healthy food delivered to your house, you can also do that as well. But it all comes down to your own self-discipline and your own priorities.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Choice.
Like
everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself long-term in Dubai?
I think for the next 3 to 5 years, definitely, I'd like to stay there for. I'm not sure I want to stay there longer than that because, like I was saying to you boys before, I do like the European lifestyle. I do like a little bit of culture. I do like the Greek beaches and, you know, the Italian coffee shops and stuff like that. So I could probably see myself moving to somewhere like Europe after. But I think for right now, in the stage that I'm at with wanting to grow and meet the new connections and focus on business, it's probably a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To other aspiring entrepreneurs, do you recommend making that jump, taking that leap? Look, what would be the thing that would like hold you back?
Yeah, look, and like you boys said, I think the big thing that could hold people back is like the level of spending that you can do there. So you got to be really careful that you don't just blow all your money when you're in Dubai doing all that stuff, trying to live a life like everybody else is trying to live. But, you know, aside from that, I think if you look at the actual tangible benefits of being there in regards to lifestyle, in regards to tax, the people that you can be around, the efficiency of the city itself, I think you can save a lot of money, make a lot of money, and like live a really high quality of life there if you are disciplined and you prioritize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No popping bottles then, H. You're going to have to rein it in a bit.
I can't even enjoy the club no more, to be honest to you, man.
It gets old after a while, bro.
Yeah, it's the same shit, man. It's a bit... I'd rather go out for a few drinks with, like, with my people and
100%.
enjoy a good conversation. And, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's way more enjoyable. Go to bed at a reasonable time.
Yeah. I always say this. I say, like, I'd rather be at a party with, like, 5 of my friends just having a few drinks at someone's house than being at a massive super club with 100 people I don't really know, right? I think like that personal connection is always going to be important. And I always say this with my boys. Like, I come back home and I just go to the pub with my mates. Some of that shit is the best shit that I could ever think of. Just chatting shit with your boys, having a pint, catching up, doing that stuff, and not even spending that much money. You don't need all of this lavish stuff all of the time, you know?
Yeah.
Wait, have you struggled to find that community in Dubai similar to your boys?
It can be, yeah. Luckily, I've got a few close friends that have moved out there that are in the online space. So it's actually good, and we're kind of on the same kind of wavelength in regards to not going out and spunking money all the time. I've also got friends that like going out and spunking, so you got to be selective sometimes of who you're hanging around. But I think, you know, I always have this belief in life that you attract what you are or what you want. So if you're somebody that wants to focus and do that, you're going to attract those kind of people. If you're someone that wants to spunk money and do degenerate shit, then you're going to attract degenerate people that spunk shit, right? Yeah. So again, everything boils down to you as a person of what you believe in, your values, the way you're leading your life, that kind of thing.
I want to pull it back slightly. You mentioned working with some guys at the top, Tinder. Yeah. Did you say Shopify?
Shopify, yeah.
Like, how does somebody get into that kind of, into that ballpark? I know we mentioned obviously like pricing and attracting and all of that kind of stuff, but like I want specifics because I want to close the corporate CEO of my industry too.
Yeah.
How do I go about doing that?
It's a great question. So the way that I did it is I built on 2 platforms where I thought these types of people would be. So on Twitter, I knew there was a lot of like entrepreneurs, startup guys on there, and also LinkedIn as well. And that's where I found the clients through these social channels. They found my content and they've actually reached out to me and said, hey, like I'm interested in this. Let's do that. So building an audience on the right platforms to attract the right people is really important, but it also comes from your content as well. So I'm not putting out content of how do you get a 6-pack in 6 weeks. It's more about like, how do we optimize our testosterone as a 40-year-old male? Like that's going to attract a CEO compared to, you know, maybe an 18-year-old kid getting in shape for Ibiza. And then really when you do get them into your world or on a sales call, you just got to be pretty cool and not fanboy or hypey or excited at the fact that you've got them on the phone. You just treat them like every other client, with respect, professionalism, and just understanding how a lot of these guys operate. So if you're at the top of a big company, you're busy, you don't have time, you expect a direct response, you speak with less words, they want you to be respectful, professional, and just showcase that, you know, you can be in their world and that you understand them. And I think if you can do that, you can work with those kinds of clients. Like that's what I've found. I don't think there's anything really special about maybe me or what I do. It's just I understand my customer quite well and how they operate and the types of people they are, their personality types. And I think that helps when it comes to signing those kinds of clients.
Have you learned any like massive lessons from some of these big clients that you're working with? Is it just strictly like I'm getting you in shape, or do you build a personal connection and learn from them too?
Great question. Yeah. So I had a mentor of mine that I actually met through coaching, and he run a 50 to 100 million business, and he was actually mentoring me on business, which was cool. So he took a liking to me. He liked what I was building, and he said, look, you can help me with the fitness stuff, but he's like, if you ever want help with business, let me know. So on the next call, I'm like, hey man, I want to take you up on your offer of free advice. I was like, just don't send me the invoice, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it was a good personal relationship, and he really helped me with like structuring my offer, what he would look at from he was actually an ex-McKinsey employee. So he actually showed me how to structure my program.
McKinsey, what's that?
What's McKinsey?
McKinsey is one of the biggest consulting firms in the world. So
Sick.
one of the,
Crazy.
he was an ex-McKinsey, and a lot of these guys that are CEOs have come from a McKinsey background, strangely. And a lot of our clients that have worked in these companies have been there. So he was showing me what he did at McKinsey and how I could apply it to my own offer and my business. And I was like, this is absolute gold. I never would have learned this before. Learning about how to price the client journey, how to structure my client base and the recurring amounts of money that you get coming in. And just a lot of like free business game, which was really cool to have.
Well, how about you return the favor then? Drop some sauce.
Let's
Give
do
us
it,
some
yeah.
bits, bro. Like I mean, you got me on the edge of my seat just then, like listing them off. Talk to me.
So a lot of the stuff that I learned was about building out like a structured journey for your client, and this can apply to any business. So if you've got a 6-month program, people that want to pay a high amount of money want to know that you're not just trying to take the money off them and just figure it out afterwards. They want to see a structured process of month 1, month 2, month 3. Why are you doing this? What are the levels of engagement? What do we do after this? What are the extra bits that you're doing? Do you have any partnerships with other people that are going to make this, you know, more successful? A lot of the CEOs and people that run big businesses, they think very logically. They're very systemized. They want to break things down in a very granular level. So if they jump onto a call with you and you're very granular and you speak in their language and you speak in their world, they're like, well, this guy's very regimented, he's planned, he's systemized, he's not just some other schmuck that's trying to talk shit to me on the phone to get some money. Because CEOs hear pitches every day. Everybody's in the inbox of LinkedIn trying to pitch them. So if you can showcase something different, that's very logically based, very systemized and structured, I think they're going to respect that a lot more and look at you as somebody that is actually legit and not somebody that's trying to blag it, you know?
Okay, so we've got the journey. That's
Yeah.
specifically service delivery. I
Yeah.
want to know more so like how you're structuring your offer to attract these guys.
Yeah.
Why is it a no-brainer? And what difference did it make on the business from where you were to obviously after you made the changes?
Yeah, I think one of the big differences is what we do is we compare what everybody else is doing to what we do. And we have like this table where we're like, okay, you can go to a personal trainer, you can go to your Instagram online coach, or you can come to us. And we just have like this page which shows what we get what they get compared to everybody else. And ours is far more comprehensive, it's far more in-depth, it's far more holistic, and we sell ourselves as a 4-in-1 solution. So, you know, typically you go to a personal trainer, they do the training side for you, whereas we do everything for you. So we will be your trainer, we also will help you with your nutrition, we'll do your blood work. We've actually got a concierge doctor that helps us with that.
I was going to say, when you mentioned partnerships, my head went to the blood work
yeah,
straight
the blood
away.
work. So we've got partnerships with a couple of like labs in the US that are all over the country that can do these tests for people. And then obviously we hone in on the fact that we really know the life of an entrepreneur and executive. And this isn't just a 30-day, you know, fat loss challenge. It's very much building a sustainable lifestyle to what you do. And a lot of these guys want that. They don't want to do something extreme. They've done all of that shit. They've tried the personal trainer. They've tried, you know, the cookie cutter online coach. They want to come to someone that's a bit more hands-on, a bit more comprehensive, that looks at the data and the numbers. And I think that's really how we've positioned ourselves, and people see, okay, this is a lot different to what we see out there, and it kind of hits for them.
So would you say having that mentorship, having that guidance changed your business?
100%. That helps. I also jumped on to other calls with other guys, business coaches within the industry, and paid them for advice. And they were like, I just literally ruthlessly break down my business, tell me what's shit, tell me what to improve. And they gave me really honest feedback on what I should do. One of those was focusing on the blood work and, you know, that angle of testing, which has become really big now with the longevity stuff that's going on and things like that. So
it's also like it's trackable, isn't it? Like if you get someone in, they do their blood work when they first sign up with you, and then after 6 months you do it again.
It's a tangible.
And everything is like in the green, let's say.
Exactly.
It's like, well, you didn't pay $5,000 for nothing, bro.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and you look better, and you feel better, and we've got data to back it.
100%.
And with a B2B offer, data's everything, isn't it?
Exactly right. Yeah, and again, going back to speaking in the language of CEOs, these guys are fucking in spreadsheets all the time, looking at the sales that they're getting, how much money's going out, how many leads that they're getting. They're all numbers and data driven. So we're basically saying to them, like, we understand your world, come into our world, run your body like you run a business. And I think that hits for a lot of these guys, It's,
That's dope. I like that.
Yeah.
Run your body like you run a business.
We do run that. We do say that as a tagline.
Yeah. Put it on the meta ads.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you want to run your body the way you run your business?
That's a new ad creative, man. Let's do it.
Right, guys, let's clip this one up and put it out. Fuck me. So where are we at? I want to know with like MRR, if it's not too personal, I'd love to know where you're at and where you're going.
Yeah, sure. So we go anywhere from sort of like 50 to 70,000 a month in revenue.
Congrats.
We're trying to scale to 6 figures a month, which is the goal. This month has been a bad month, so we're not very close to what we usually do. But again, the summer months are typically lower. So for us, it's just getting to that 7-figure run rate mark, I think, would be pretty awesome as a business, yeah.
And then what's the team, like your team?
So there's me. We've got 3 coaches.
Yeah.
So we've got 1 full-time, 2 part-time. I've got a setter and part-time closer that books a lot of the meetings. We have a social media manager, so she manages and puts out content everywhere. And then I have a ghostwriter who's actually a client of ours. So he writes content for us for free, and then we coach him, which is a good deal. And he writes a lot of like the longer form stuff. Helps
for
us
LinkedIn?
with some emails. Yeah, LinkedIn, for Twitter, stuff like that.
Dope.
Yeah. So maybe about 5-6 people. So it's pretty small, but.
So when did you bring in but you don't really need, in this day and age, if you've got like A players, you don't need a 20-man team to do 6 figures a month.
What do you go through to hire someone, bro? Like, how do you determine who's good or not? Because I'm going to assume that you've probably been through some bad guys as well, right?
Yeah. Luckily, I've hired through people I know on my network. So,
cool.
The coaches that are on my team, one of them was an ex-client and 2 of them were friends from school. They're actually from my hometown that actually wanted to work online and have some money, and they'd been doing their own coaching themselves and got their qualifications and wanted to be part of what we were building. So that was sick. My DM setter actually reached out to me on Twitter and sent me a great voice note, said, I want work, I'm really hungry, I want to make some money. So he's been working with me for over 2 years now, which is great. So I think people that have the right attitude and take the initiatives is really important. And the social media person, she's one of my is the coach's girlfriend. So she wanted some help. So just from the network and through that, we've been able to hire. So maybe I've got quite lucky. I haven't really had any bad hires so far. So touch wood, that doesn't happen. But again, I think it's always going to happen in business. You're going to make bad decisions and things are going to happen. But yeah, it's cool working with people that and things, because straight away you can trust them a little bit more than some random person on the internet, right, that you never met. So
that gives me personally some reassurance, because I mean, obviously me and HR best mates and have been for more than a decade now.
Yeah. And
obviously we run the podcast together, we run our agency together. But we've also now brought in one of our close friends as well.
Sick.
As part of our team full time.
Nice.
And there was this kind of thought process where, should we go and hire somebody that's tuned and ready and is already an A player?
Yeah.
And bring them in to further us, or do we bring somebody in that we can trust, that we can educate and we can bring along the journey that we know isn't gonna, in 2 or 3 years time or even 6 months time, turn their back on us and fuck us,
Yeah.
So we were kind of weighing up the pros and cons of that decision, and it's a big decision because it's your baby at the end of the day, bro. Nobody's gonna love your baby like you love your baby.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hearing you say that you're running a successful business and you're living the lifestyle that you live, and your team is predominantly friends that you've known for a while, and obviously excluding the setter, but I mean, setters are everywhere in your DMs, aren't they? But that just gives me a lot of reassurance that we're on the right track,
100%.
Not that we've made a mistake. I don't think we made a mistake, but that we're doing the right things as well, and it works.
100%, yeah.
When you said that you spoke to mentors, etc., and they'd just come in and they'd be absolutely relentless and break down your business, what would they say to you?
So I would pay someone for an hour-long call, and I'd run through all the data with my business. So I'd say, okay, they'd want some information about your revenue, how many sales calls you get per month, how many leads you get per month, how many you close, how big your audience is, things like that. And basically what they find is the bottleneck within your business to grow. And what they found with mine was, we were getting a decent amount of leads, we were closing the right amount of people, all of that stuff was good, the service delivery was good, the retention was good. It's we needed more front end, right? We needed more traffic, we needed more leads to scale things up. So that's when he said, you need to focus on your positioning, because there's thousands of fitness coaches out there. If you can lean more into the blood work and the fact that you do a lot of the testing and make this kind of more holistic package, it's probably going to resonate a lot more with entrepreneurs and people that you want to target. So that was a pretty good bit of game that I got. And yeah.
What is invested into yourself, into mentorship, into that extra bit of knowledge from guys that have been there and done it? What would you say, if you had to put like a number to it, what is that worth?
Probably at least $30,000, probably. And one of the reflections that I've had on myself is I probably don't invest enough into myself to get to where I want to be. And for me to scale to that next level, I probably need to invest into that next person to help me. So that's going to be something I'm going to focus on, I think, as I progress, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the vision?
So the vision for this is I want this to be one of the biggest online health coaching businesses for entrepreneurs and executives. I want to really focus and hone in on that niche. And I want to go out to other businesses and do some speaking. So back in June, one of my clients runs a big conference in America. He invited me to America to speak at his conference. So I spoke in front of over 100 CEOs.
What was that like?
That was pretty cool. Yeah, like I flew to New York and then to Nashville, and wore like a big suit and spoke in front of all these CEOs. First time doing a big bit of public speaking. So
intimidating or?
Yeah, so there was some nerves, but I'm someone that really likes to prepare. So I probably practiced about 100 times in my apartment before I went on, because I wanted this to be really good, and it went really well. So I'm hoping that I want to continue to do some more speaking at events and conferences, because a lot of our clients will be there, and just build this into a really big personal brand that can then hopefully be a personal media company that attracts a lot of opportunities from sponsorships, from partnerships, things like that. I've also looked at the option of training the executive teams. So going into a business and being like, hey, you've got a group of 5 executives, 10 executives. Can we coach all them as a group and do that as like a monthly retainer for them, and maybe go into a handful of businesses and doing that, which I think would be cool.
That's an interesting
model,
model,
idea, which is more of a B2B angle to the business.
Yeah. And you would go direct to the business and say, we want to level up your A players.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff could maybe be done remotely, right? So it could be done remote coaching, the same that we do with our business to consumer clients, but doing it as a group, like going into the company. If I had to fly to the company and do some in-person sessions, maybe that could work as well. But yeah.
When I said go into the business, I never meant like literally.
Oh, okay.
Like you'd pitch to the business and say, well, okay, your next step of A players here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to level them up.
Exactly, yeah.
And this is how much it's going to cost you, but this is how much it could make you.
Exactly that. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
That's a very interesting angle.
Yeah, it's a good idea, man. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
But why are you holding off on it?
So I want to really scale the B2C side of things first. One of the big things I try and focus on is just singular focus on one thing. And I see a lot of people I know or friends, they have this shiny object syndrome, and I had it in the past where you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do hundreds of things, and maybe some people can do that and they're really good at it. I'm not very good at that. I'm very good at one singular focus and getting that to the point. And I think once I've been able to build the team and outsource a lot of the work where I don't have to do the day-to-day running of it, which I'm doing now, then I can move on to that next stage of, okay, this is the expansion plan to do the B2B stuff.
What does your day-to-day consist of?
So mainly it's managing the team, making sure the content goes out correctly. I'm also doing a lot of research into other personal brands and what they do and how they build and how they're successful to grow that. And then I do take a few sales calls as well for new clients coming in, especially if someone's coming in that's a big CEO that's got a good network. It's good if I maybe work with him or at least have that initial call with him to then hopefully get some more referrals and growth into the business. So right now I don't actually do loads, but I think that I'm trying to build the team out where I don't have to do as much. Whereas I remember when I was doing all of the content writing, I was doing all of the sales, all of the setting, all of the coaching. I was in Barcelona at the time and it was crazy. I was doing 12-hour days every day because I was having to do all the work. And you realize that actually delegating stuff and putting ownership on other people helps a lot when you want to have more time back, you know?
That's what everybody gets into the business for.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't really say it, but like you want to become an entrepreneur really to be lazy.
100%. Yeah,
like,
it is, yeah.
Like the ideal outcome, like the dream outcome of being an entrepreneur and putting all of this time and effort and energy into building this machine is so that one day you can just do nothing.
100%. Yeah. Otherwise, you just have a high-paid job, right?
For real.
It's just like you're still grafting, you're still getting an hourly rate for all the hours you put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that, to be honest with you.
What?
I don't know. Everyone starts a business to be lazy. Like, listen, like everybody's got their own individual reasons, but like some people, like they start a business and like they'll have a hyper successful business and they'll work it until like close to the day that they die, or like they'll just be involved in it. Etc.
Yeah, bro. But I'm not talking about like not doing anything, but it's doing 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And doing what you do now is different.
Yeah.
But when you were doing 12-hour days, you were making significantly less money, I'm assuming, than you are now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the dream outcome is more money, less work, as opposed to more work, less money.
Yeah.
I think it's easier work more than anything.
Yeah.
Though, right?
Yeah. I get.
It's just my opinion.
I get what Harris is saying though, because you do. I think as a man as well, and as people, if you've got a business as your baby and you care about it, you want to work on it. It's not the fact that you're grafting a job that you hate. You actually want to do stuff and you want to work on it and you feel like it's your purpose. But I also think at the same time, if you want to take a 2-week holiday to Greece, you should just be able to do that. That's a part of wanting to build a business, or, you know, you've got a meeting or you want to go out for a date with a chick, and if you're working a job, you couldn't do that. I think that flexibility in your routine is probably what most people are looking for. Yeah. I don't think it's like sat on the beach doing nothing, bored out of your head. I don't think that's the main thing. Like, I do get Harris's point.
I think maybe I worded the nothing wrong. Do nothing, wake up and do nothing kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can do nothing for 3-4 days, but then you start to go a little bit fucking crazy.
Yeah.
like my dad, he said to my mom that he's gonna sell up kind of everything and he's gonna retire next year.
Yeah.
And me and my mom were having a discussion. We're like, the fuck's he gonna do? He's gonna get bored and like he's gonna be going insane, which is like,
it's true. Yeah.
Like I know what's gonna happen if that is the case. And my dad, like, he's just gonna be like, say he goes and does his morning routine, he gym, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like later in the day, it's like, what's he gonna get up to? He's gonna go insane. He needs something.
I agree, and I think especially if like you're a hard-working and intelligent person, there's no way you can go from just doing all of that to nothing. I think it's so difficult. I would find that hard.
I feel like you can still find purpose in other ways, but just not having to be like a driving force.
Yeah.
Because driving a business forward is tough. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it's always on. Because you've got to drive. You're always looking for that
100%.
next thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you've built something where it is systemized, it's still growing, it's still scaling, and you don't have to be the one driving it. Your purpose is still to overview, to look at the numbers, to manage the team, to jump in and to jump out when and if necessary.
Yeah.
But the business's growth isn't solely dependent on your inputs. Like, there's going to be a month where maybe you want to do more, and you can. And maybe the business performs better by 2% or 3% or 5%.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, I want to go to Greece for 3 weeks.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We still onboarded 10 new clients and we're still moving forwards. Everyone's
100%.
still getting a kick-ass service. That, for me, is what it's fucking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to build a business that caters for my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Not a lifestyle that is lived and breathed to cater for the business.
100%. Yeah.
For a period of time, you have to do that.
I agree.
Of course.
I agree. And also the way that I look at life as well. I call it like the 4 Fs, right? I call it fitness, finances, family, and you could say friends, right? Freedom. So friends and family go the same. And I think that in life, you always get that rich billionaire that's got all the money, but he's fucking fat, he's miserable, his wife hates him, he's working like 20-hour days, you know? And I think, well, life, yeah, you do want money, but you also want to be fit and healthy and have a good body. You probably want to have good relationships, both intimate and with your family. And you want the freedom to do the shit that you want, whether that is go on holiday and things like that. And I think if you can build a life where all of those 4 things are in place, pretty difficult to be unhappy. I don't think that there's a way where you hate your life. I think you live a great quality of life.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't.
And you don't have to be a centimillionaire to have that quality of life.
Right? Yeah. And you shouldn't just be optimizing for money. You shouldn't just be optimizing for fitness. You should be like leveling up your player stats and everything, right? To become the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
I think that's the highest ROI.
Elliot mentioned it and he said, like, I can't remember. I think he said he had a couple of.
didn't
He had a, yeah. I can't. Oh, one of them was personal image.
Yeah.
I think the one extra.
Yeah.
But he was like, how am I presented?
Yeah.
Is another thing that he adds on to his like so-called success.
Nice.
How do I dress? How do I look? How do I
100%.
smell? What do people think of me when they see me or when they hear me speak?
Yeah.
That's another thing, another pillar of his that determine the
I
success.
like that a lot. Yeah.
But he mentioned that there's seasons where, okay, well, I'm going to do a launch and I'm going all in on the fucking money. And that's what I'm doing day in and day out, maybe for 2 months or for 3 months.
Yeah.
And the other things are going to take a bit of a hit. But then I enter into this new season where we did the launch, it's killing it, it's smashing it, it's systemized.
Yeah.
Now I just need to kind of like oil the machine.
Yeah.
But now it's time to reinvest back into my fitness, to reinvest back into my
100%.
family, into my freedom, go on that trip with the kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take my missus away and let's do a couples retreat or whatever. Do you get what I'm saying?
I resonate with that a lot. And one of the quotes that I really like to use is life isn't a marathon, it's a series of sprints. So you do a sprint for a launch, you make a load of money, great, you go chill for, or have a off period for a period of time. Then you go on to that next thing. And I think that just working all of the time 24/7 is when you have that burnout, in the sense of you really hate things, you hate your life, or if you're chilling too much, you're not making the money. You do have to have those intense periods.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, we're not in a position yet where really we can structure that, because our thing now is like everything all at once.
Yeah.
Like we have to put everything into all at
course.
once because we're in that position. But I would love to be in a situation where, like, for an example, during the winter months, the winter arc, let's say, we go fucking heavy.
Yeah.
We go hard. We get in the best shape ever. We make the most money ever. So spring starts to come around and it's like, right, okay, now like let's reinvest back into our family, into our friends.
Exactly.
Summer comes around, let's do a Euro trip.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Things are in place. We can do that. And then it's like, now we
100%.
get back.
Yeah,
And we go again.
I typically structure my life like that, from end of August, September through to like March, April is like the grind season, right? It's where people are most susceptible to coaching and making money. You've got like Q4, Q1, everybody wants to invest in themselves.
Yeah.
And typically the summer months are a little bit more relaxed. So that's great. I can leave Dubai, come to Europe, have a bit more of a relax, see my friends. I think it's cool to have a life like that where you're building that. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs I know that do that similar thing
Yeah.
when it comes to that stuff.
So in like, let's say like the off season now,
Yeah.
I know you're saying right now you're not doing too much, but and obviously you're in like a quieter period just based on the industry that you're in. But what does it actually consist of in your quote unquote off period? Like in regards to winter arc, grind season, and now, what is the difference in your work days, what your work consists of?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Are you going out? Are you eating out? Are you drinking out? Are you dating? Are you not? Like, what's the difference?
It's a really good question. It's typically just more volume in the months of September through to March. So it's more content's going out. It's more sales calls. We're doing more of a push towards growth. There's you're on your team a lot more to deliver and make sure that happens. You're launching new projects and new things and new offers because that's your most fruitful time. Mm-hmm. And then when you're not doing that, there's like less projects. You may be taking less sales calls. There's going to be less, maybe not as higher launches and stuff like that going on. So for me, not much changes in regards to that. It's just more about cranking up the volume in the right times. One of the things that I would say when I'm doing more of my quiet period is a lot more of research, and I do a lot of self-development during this time because I know that, okay, if I can get the right mindset and perspective, puts me in the right position then to go and execute from September.
Yeah.
So it's not just an off period where I'm just going out and getting drunk.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Obviously that happens from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's more of a case of, okay, how can I listen to some good podcasts, maybe invest in some courses, study maybe some of the numbers and things that are going on to then actually improve things moving forward.
So when you come back in September, it's like, I've got this new perspective, this new bang,
Yeah.
implement. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as a business, there's this one quote that I say is people don't have business problems. They have personal problems that manifest in business, which I think is a really good thing. The business can only be as good as the entrepreneur. So you as an entrepreneur always need to be investing in yourself, whether that's health, whether that's leveling up your knowledge. Like you always need to be pushing that angle for the business to grow, because as soon as you stop growing, the business stops growing, the money stops coming in, and you've hit this plateau and you wonder why. It's like, well, you haven't leveled yourself up to the person that deserves the success yet. So I think that focus on yourself and your health and your body and your mind is so important during those seasons.
What do you see yourself looking like, being like in a decade's time? Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially?
Well, it's a great question. Well, hopefully I'll still be jacked. That's the whole point. You got to be jacked and healthy because I'm 30 years old now. I'm going to be 40 then. So
you don't look 30.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's those Asian genetics,
Do you want to know what I thought from the start of the pod? I was going to say it for after. You look a little bit like Santi Cazorla.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He does a little bit, doesn't he?
Really?
little
I've
bit.
played Samir Nasri before. You know
Have
Samir
you
Nasri?
actually?
I feel like that's more.
Samir Nasri, yeah.
No, I was from the
We're
start of the
Gooners,
pod, I
we
was
are,
looking at
so-
Oh,
you.
you Gooners,
Yeah, from the start, I was looking at the pod. I was like a little bit like Sadiq.
Oh, really?
Not in a bad
I
way.
think Nasri,
Sick.
Nasri more. I
Or
think.
Nasri, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I see that now. You
I
said
see
it.
them both. Yeah.
Playing attacking mid and that for Arsenal, yeah. Yeah.
So you still want to be jacked.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I was gonna say for your age, bro, you do look really good.
thanks, bro.
So,
Thanks, bro. So yeah,
It's the holistic approach. bro.
holistic approach, man. Yeah. So obviously, being jacked, I want to have a family by then as well. So I think by the time I'm 35, 36, I have family, kids, things like that. And I think I'll be doing stuff in America just because a lot of our clients are there and the business is there. So whether that's more B2B work, whether that's I've launched a business there that's maybe. We also want to do more in-person masterminds and retreats is another angle we look at. So doing some stuff like that, which is more in person. And I think with the rise of AI and the internet, people are going to want more of the in-person connection because people can search a fitness program up on ChatGPT, right? But they can't go to a mastermind full of other 100 million or 10 million entrepreneurs that are earning good money and have this connection in this community. So I think those things are going to be bigger as things progress. So doing that kind of stuff will be more along the lines of what I want. But where I want to be emotionally, financially, obviously earning more money, those four F's that I spoke about, but just continually pushing me to be a better person. I think that that's always the best thing is you do have to smell the roses and you do have to enjoy those parts of life. But I don't think you can always be satisfied if you're not trying to grow and trying to push because there never really is an end point. A lot of us don't know when that end point is going to be. So you might as well push yourself to be the best that you can as much as you can, right?
You mentioned you want a family.
Yeah.
What kind of dad do you want to be?
Great question. Great question. I've thought about this, and I think one of the things that I want to be is a strong role model to kids as a leader. And that doesn't just mean financially, but also somebody that has a healthy body, that is a good role model to their kids. And we see this a lot with the clients we work with. One of the things they say to us is, I'm not a good role model to my kids and my son. And I even say to them, I said, how would you feel if your son or your daughter had the body that you had at your age? And that's the one thing where they think, fuck, that's terrible. I think that example that you set to them isn't just financial success or your career. It's about the way that you carry yourself. It's like your emotional resilience and stability as a man. All of those things are really important.
Is it mainly like really fat dudes, like really fat CEOs?
A lot of big overweight guys come
Right.
to us, or maybe like really skinny fat. They haven't built much muscle
Right.
things like that as well. But typically, I'd say majority are overweight,
Tends to be people out of shape.
out of shape. Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah, of course.
of course. Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt
that's
you, by
all
the
right.
way.
Yeah, no worries.
Because we didn't actually speak about that. You're speaking about these CEOs, and I'm picturing these guys that are maybe already semi-jacked, but just want to go to the next level.
We do get like a small percentage of those guys that really want to optimize, but I think, and this is life in general, we don't tend to want to take action until shit gets really bad, or we don't get that realization until you look in the mirror on holiday and your wife says something to you, or she doesn't want to sleep with you because you look horrible, or your son comes up to you and says, oh dad, you've got a big belly, you've got a baby in there. All of these things that they hear, it fucking cuts deep, and that's when you start taking action. So yeah, typically that I find that that's a big thing. But just going back to that other thing about the dad I want to be, I want to be someone that helps a lot of people as well. I think that we do a lot of work in our maybe 20s and 30s to want to build ourselves into the right person. And I think that it's not just to be selfish and live the life that we want, but to also help other people to develop themselves, whether that's helping them out financially, but also maybe just through coaching. I'd love to be able to help like my kids, but also younger people to maybe develop themselves as they get older. Because I think especially, and I don't know if you guys had the same experience, my early 20s and my late teens were pretty tough in regards to finding my way through the world and doing that kind of stuff. So if I can hopefully help people navigate that a bit better, then that would also be
based
something
on
I
your
want to do.
experiences, your lessons.
Exactly, yeah. And the thing is, I want to have lived it as well. You always see these fucking 17-year-old life coaches coming out, and it's like, bro, like, what have you lived? Like, what have you experienced? What pain have you been through? Why should you be the authority to tell people what to do?
They did a crypto flip, bro.
They did a
Come on,
crypto
man.
flip, yeah.
Come on, bro. What do you mean, bro? That's what it's all
Yeah, bro.
about.
I've got a rented Lambo in Dubai, bro. Like, listen to me, right? You see a lot of these guys do that. So I think coming from a place of credibility and experience is big when it comes to that. For sure.
You touched on like wanting to help people, and like in your work phase, you're building yourself.
Yeah.
But I think what's beautiful is that also in the industry that we're in, building yourself, the more you build yourself and you build your business, the more impact in people that you actually help as well.
100%.
And away from just like the monetary stuff, like
Yeah.
if you are helping the fucking, did you say it was the vice president of Tinder,
Yeah.
to get in the best physical shape he's been in his whole life?
Yeah.
and become attractive to his wife again, to his kids become a role model, to feel sharper.
Yeah.
What positive impact have you had on him, his wife, his kids, his team that works below him that don't have to deal with his mood swings anymore?
100%.
Like, you building yourself and building your business and growing and going to the next level is still helping other people. 100%. It's a byproduct.
It is.
And
it is, yeah.
That, like, don't take that away from yourself. You're already 100%. Doing it, bro. Like,
yeah, and sometimes I forget that. Sometimes that we work with a lot of clients and we understand that it's a business, but then you forget the fact that it does have such a big impact on people. And I had a client that messaged me the other day. He was in Greece on holiday and he was like, man, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. I've celebrated my 40th here. I'm in better shape than other 20-year-olds. I put this down to a lot of the work that I've done with you. My business is better. My relationship with my kids is better. All of this stuff. And I was sat there, I was like, fuck, man, that's made my day.
How fulfilling, bro.
Yeah, and I sometimes forget that, but you realize that with coaching, a lot of people have this idea, coaching's a scam. You charge thousands of dollars for fitness coaching. Why would I do that? It's actually, you need to stick to your guns and realize you actually are fucking helping people with what you do. And it has a huge impact on their life.
Yeah. That's what it's about, bro.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, he only makes investments into businesses where they help people.
What's that?
Like Shaquille O'Neal, he only makes investments into business if the businesses help people.
Love that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Who was it? I think it was someone that he knew made that a rule and started doing really well. And he was like, I like that.
Would you not argue that most businesses help people in one way or another? Because they
solve
a problem for somebody,
it could be
right?
like the new version of Coca-Cola, for instance. Like, you wouldn't invest in that 'cause it's not particularly helping people, I guess.
Yeah, I hear that. But every successful business caters towards somebody's problem, pain, or...
Well, I mean, you could argue that Coke quenches your thirst.
Yeah, and hits the taste buds and helps you when you're on a cut and you want a zero.
True. I also, just to be devil's advocate, I do think that there's businesses that maybe don't help people as much. You look at like casinos or gambling.
Yeah,
there are things like that, and there's
alcohol businesses,
maybe
porn
maybe. Again,
nicotine.
I'm not really against OnlyFans, but some people are against OnlyFans and shit, right? So again, like, I'm not here to kind of police people's morality, but I think business, everyone is here to make fucking money, right? I get it. We got to live and shit like that. But I think if you can build something where you make a lot of money, but you also help a lot of people and you have a positive impact, I think that's
what it's about.
A game,
bro.
man.
That's what it's about.
I think that's great.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Well, brother, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
I want to just quickly before we go. It's something that we ask most of our guests, and it's to any young aspiring entrepreneur that's listening right now that is lost, that is navigating their way through their late teens, their early 20s, and doesn't know what to do with themselves, but knows that they're destined to be better.
Yeah.
What is your message to that person?
I would say to this person that you can have all the success that you want. The reason why you don't have it is not because you're born a certain way, you are in a certain circumstance. You just don't have the knowledge yet or the understanding to get to that point of where you want to be. And if you're willing to have an open mind and take on coaching, take on mentorship, learn from people that have done it, listen to podcasts like this and try and level yourself up, that knowledge is going to come to you. You're going to develop then the skills and you're going to get to where you want to be as long as you've got that hard work and belief that comes with it. Most problems people have are a skill issue. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's with your fitness, it's with your business, the reality is you just don't have the skill set yet to get there. Doesn't mean that you're a loser, you're destined for failure, that you were born a certain way. It's none of that. If you can actually have that growth mindset, develop the skills, develop the competencies, you'll then be able to get to where you want to be. So that would be my advice to younger guys.
So basically, in short, subscribe and listen to all of our episodes.
100%.
Brother, it's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Thank you, boys.
I really appreciate you, brother. Great
too.
to connect, and I'm looking forward to seeing your journey. Maybe we can run it back in a couple of years' time and see where we're all at.
Yeah, bro. The pod's going to blow up even more then, right?
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And for you guys, if you're on Spotify, make sure to drop us a follow and a rating, and on YouTube, make sure that you like, comment and subscribe, turn the bell notification on so you get notified every time we release a podcast, and we'll see you all next week.
Catch you later, guys. Love. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Peace.
Thanks, bros. That was sick.
Safe, man. Thank you.
Man. Sick.
Vamos.
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 Good shit.